What is going on, everybody? Corey here. Welcome back to another Fly Casual. It's the holiday season. I'll let you fill it in. And that means it's time to keep talking about comic reviews. It means it's time to talk about Galaxy Adventures. That's new. And we got all kinds of rumors and discussion to go over, too. And, of course, it's the last episode for Christmas. You know the Fly Casual Glee Club is showing up. Welcome back to another Fly Casual. Let's get ready to wrinkle! I'm going to lead right off the bat here.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
By stating that I have very limited head movement in this episode.
To say the least.
Because I have a Christmas wreath on my head.
Yes.
I take this very
It's
seriously.
Christmas Day today, guys.
I don't understand it.
It is Christmas
It
Day.
is. Merry Christmas,
It is.
guys.
Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, my friend.
Merry
Happy
Christmas indeed.
Hanukkah,
Merry Christmas to all the
or,
listeners.
Kwanzaa, Merry Kwanzaa.
I am going to commit
Merry
to keeping this god-awful thing on my head
Festivus.
Merry
Festivus?
Xmas.
through the entire episode.
For the rest of us.
I don't care if blood starts trickling down my face. And I have to tell you, I'm being tortured already. This thing itches like you would not believe.
Yeah,
Imagine
Wow.
sticking your head in an artificial Christmas tree. That's essentially what I've done.
yes.
I've done that before.
He's doing it
holding
for
it
you,
there.
the fan.
Yep.
I'm holding it
You
there.
suffer for your art.
The-
You want to
fan.
see it? You're going to have to go to YouTube. You have to check it out on YouTube.
For Rizzle.
Meh.
All right. And say, hey, I don't have better things to do with my time. I want to see if he's actually got a wreath on his head. Believe me, I do. And it sucks.
I'm digging that shirt, man. What you got going on there?
It looks
This is
like
my-
the
this is
ghost
my
of
holiday shirt.
Christmas
I'm gonna stand
presents.
up.
He's got a holiday
I'm gonna
shirt.
stand up. It's my holiday. My holiday. It's one of those Christmas sweater knockoff T-shirts. It's just a bunch of silkscreen chevrons.
All right.
All right. Follow
So
here.
that says-
What's that right there?
That says Jingle Bells.
That's a picture of Jingle Bells. What's that a picture of right there?
Batman smells.
Batman in a garbage can.
Yeah.
And then
Why is
Robin,
he in a
what's he doing?
garbage can?
He's laying an egg.
And what's this down here?
Batmobile.
But what's wrong with it?
It lost its wheel.
And what's this guy doing down here?
Joker got away.
Oh, the best
no.
Christmas shirt of all time.
Of all time.
All time.
Hashtag.
You did that just to make me stand up and balance this wreath on my head. I know
did.
you sadistic.
That was
bastard.
amazing.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
You're going to go
Christmas,
haunt
guys.
Scrooge tonight, Corey? Is that what you're doing?
Am I going to what?
Haunt Scrooge tonight?
I am. I absolutely. I'm the
Sweet.
technically I'm the ghost of Christmas future, given the fact that we're
I
recording
don't know
this
about that.
when we are. But
True
yes,
that.
indeedy do. And do we have a lineup? Oh boy.
Oh my God.
boy.
We've got some sweet reviews and the rumors. My gosh, we are packing in the deets lately, guys.
Dear
Yeah.
Lord.
And of course, right in the middle of the show, nestled right smack dab in the hot, sweet, gooey middle is the return of the
Gross.
Fly Casual Glee Club once again
Once again.
with holiday cheer,
Just once.
with some salty holiday cheer to spread. So you're going to want to stick around for that. I'm Corey, Mr. Corey T. Wilson.
Yeah.
And over there, sporting the red sparkly antlers and not an itchy wreath.
No.
And you got little reindeer ears, too. I don't know if you noticed that. Little
I
reindeer
do.
ears.
They're little, yeah. they
Mr.
just
Michael J. Archibald.
protrude. And hey, did you get everything you wanted this year, buddy?
Did I?
Yeah.
Boy, howdy.
Oh, boydy boy.
Well, given the fact that it's not actually for really Christmas yet in recording world, and I don't want anything, yes.
Perfect.
Anything I get on top of that's just bonus.
I'm with
Yeah.
you. I'm with you
Icing on the
that
cake.
If I could make it so that I get like none presents for Christmas, I win.
One. Yeah.
I want to spoil my kid rotten.
oh my gosh, I'm with you.
You know, I want to get the kids. It's about the kids for me.
Yes,
I don't want
yes,
presents. That's not the way the families work.
Yeah,
the
but that's-
families are like, all right, we're taking a
Well-
tally so that we know who to excommunicate.
But wives don't work that way.
Right, wives don't work that way. Oh my gosh! So my wife and I spent a lot of money on various this year, so we agreed. All right, no
Yeah.
Christmas presents for each other. And I'm like, yeah, okay. She's like, no, I'm serious this time. I'm like, whatever. I'm like,
setup.
I said 4 days before Christmas,
It's
you're
a
going to tell
trap.
me that you got me something, and I'm going to be doing the normal, like the man walk of shame.
Yep.
Which is those last couple days of Christmas, running from like woman store to woman store, going, help me, please.
No, really, I didn't want anything.
Do you?
Really?
Yeah. I only spent like $70. So you can just a hug is good. You are a liar.
Right.
You are going to sit on this and you're going to save it until you can attack me with it.
I know. Don't fall for
I
it.
know how this works.
Don't fall for it.
They are feral and dangerous.
That's right.
So she did already admit that she bought me something.
Of course she did.
However, it was not that expensive, so I could essentially just, waltz out to the Walgreens and fill up a sack. And
There you go.
Here you go.
Funko
right.
Pops, baby.
Nope.
Here's
I don't hate my wife.
Here's a Hershey bar. There you go.
Yeah,
Thank
it's a
you.
big Hershey
Yeah.
bar. You gnaw on it for a while.
And a Funko Pop.
That's right. Speaking of gnawing on stuff, over there, Master Control, Mr. Stephen J. Howie.
I do like to gnaw on things.
That's true. That's true.
It's very soothing.
Yeah. When he's done mulling, he gnaws.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Howie's very much into mulling and gnawing. Gnawing
That,
and mulling.
sure.
It's like the ripping and the tearing, but it's the mulling
Ripping
and
the bowling.
Ripping
mulling and
and the tearing.
the gnawing.
Both.
Garrick knows a lot about the ripping and tearing.
Speaking of Garrick,
Garrick's
correspond
mom
down a
does.
few. Is Garrick not Jay Hardy?
Yeah, I love to masticate.
Yeah.
Wait, huh?
Yep. Masticates everywhere he goes. Gets in trouble for it
All
sometimes.
over. It's all over the
Sometimes.
place.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's
It gets messy. It's messy and
constantly
sticky.
into masticating.
You know something we haven't brought up in a while?
with his cud.
Garrick's mom.
Well,
No,
that.
that's like every episode.
Dragon's milk, Garrick.
Dragon's milk.
Speaking of masticating,
Oh, I hope this isn't making nearly as much
I
noise
don't know
on the
what's
microphone
going on.
as is on my head.
It is. It's making a
Dragon's
lot of
milk.
noise.
I think
It's making my headphones fall off my head.
we need to treat Mike with some dragon's milk.
Okay, Dragon's Milk. What are we talking about, man?
It's a beer
Oh,
from New Holland
I
Brew.
have had. Yeah, somebody left it here one year.
That would be
had-
If
Garrick.
you leave booze at Corey's house,
Mike
Mike will
drinks
drink it.
Yeah, but it's like 14% alcohol per volume.
Yes,
beer.
it was.
If
I
friend of
remember.
the show, my hair is all in my face now. If friend of the show Brian had any idea how much of his money has gone into Mike's stomach,
Hey, I do have to say, Corey, you look like that guy, that director that made that crazy movie that, like the room. No, it's the room.
you talk. I look
forget.
like. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
What's Sal? What's his name?
No,
Yeah, yeah, Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Weiss.
Yeah, man. Good job there, buddy.
Hey, what makes you say that? No, it's still just John C. Reilly.
Yeah, you go right to him.
Drunk John C. Reilly. No.
That's really your
You
only
can do
impression.
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly and Australian people. That's all I got. Hey, this is Dr. Steve Brule. The worst John C. Reilly.
That's the worst
I've
case
been
of
Sherlock
being cut in
Holmes.
half
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
I'm on that new Holmes and Watson movie coming out on Christmas Day. Come see it, everybody. All right. Oh, man, we have a lot to cover tonight, you
I'm
guys. I don't
Wreck-It
think we should
Ralph.
mess around anymore.
I'm Wreck-It Ralph.
We should cover Garrick's mom.
I got to wreck it.
You gotta wreck it.
You guys want to hear my Sarah Silverman impression? Impression?
Freshman.
Hit the
I
button.
don't know if I do or not.
Yep. You're right. I should just.
I'm. Ugh.
Time for some reviews.
Yay!
Wow, we dodged the bullet there.
If I even tried to cast my voice that high, I would get strangled when this wreath falls down around my neck.
Yeah.
Vanellope von Schweetz.
Yeah, Vanellope is not your forte.
Take it over, Garrick. I'm just going to sit here
Hey.
quietly and suffer.
So we had a crap ton of comics come out.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Since
no,
last time.
that's an understatement.
Really?
Yeah,
Crap
it's more
ton.
like a shit ton.
Yeah,
Just saying.
a crap load of crap. No.
Yeah.
But we had like, I'm not going to go over all of them, but I just want to go over like a few of the good ones. So, of course, the Star Wars main title,
Okay.
Dr. Aphra.
Oh,
Yeah, I like Aphra. The Darth Vader one, the penultimate issue,
what?
the second to last Vader 24, and then it's going to end on the next issue.
But then
And then-
you got Shield Vader coming.
That's
Yeah,
bullshit.
we got
Yep.
Shield Vader.
Game of
We got
Vader.
Shield Vader. Well, we got to wait a while for that, I think.
Oh, really?
Which is going to suck. I don't know. They just announced it.
True.
Anyway, and then we had 2 one-shots from Age of the Republic, Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So which one are we
yes.
doing first, man?
Let's do some Star Wars. Yeah. 57. Star Wars 57.
Star Wars 57. I'm typing it in. Give me some time.
8. Star Wars 57 and 58 both came
And
out.
58? Oh.
Yeah. So
haven't
our
read any of
rebel
these.
crew of Leia, Han,
Oh, this is
Luke
Skywalker.
R2D2, and C3PO are on a hidden moon where they are hiding out while from the Empire.
That's no
While
move.
things kind of cool down. And it's kind of like a communist moon, so that's pretty cool, right? You guys like communism? Mike?
Oh, man.
Mike likes communism.
Do we ever?
So it's like
Almost as much as we hate Bolsheviks. Or, I mean, the bourgeoisie.
Bourgeoisie,
yeah.
the bullshit. See,
So it's like kind of like
The
this
proletariat.
agricultural civilization that if you want to eat, you have to work. So maybe not. Maybe the opposite of communism.
yeah, that sounds the opposite. All right.
Yeah. So there was a few cool things. Like I guess the whole point of this story is kind of fleshing out how our characters, I guess, learn certain things. Like Luke Skywalker is learning to fence with his lightsaber with one of the people who have taken him in. So he kind of, I guess, find out how he got so good at swinging that thing around when he fought Vader in Empire Strikes Back.
All right.
So that was interesting.
Yeah.
And then there was,
At least he fought confidently.
yeah, at least he did that. There was
Confidently, if not competently.
one panel in here specifically that the internet was tweaking on. So Han Solo goes into the local pub and orders a drink, and the guy's like, "Well, you got to work for your stuff around here. So I got some wood out back. If you want to chop that up, I'll get you a drink." So of course he goes back and chops the wood, and then Leia comes around looking for him, and Han had taken off his shirt, and he is stacked. Man.
He's got nice boobs.
Yeah, dude, he is ripped.
Great.
He's got like a 12 pack. He's got like 12-inch pythons? Is that big? I don't know what a big python is.
That panel you're talking
pythons.
about is great because Leia's sitting there looking at him going, oh.
Oh.
Sold.
Yeah, it's like in a Captain Morgan pose with this axe, and it's just like this ridiculous. Like, there's no way Harrison Ford in his prime would look like that with his
That is
shirt
good
off.
stuff right there. I like that.
Yeah, that's a great touch. And then later in the next issue, him and Leia kind of go on a date, and it's very cool. And at the end, she's like, "Hey, why don't you come back to my room tonight, and
Yeah.
we can do some stuff, you know?" So she walks in, and you can see Han Solo starting to take off his vest. To get naked.
Oh,
and then
is that
she's
what
like,
he's
"Oh,
doing?
now we can plan how to get back at that one chick that crossed us." And he's like, "Oh,
Come on, Leia.
thought we were gonna do it."
You forgot to mention that, there's also shirtless dudes in this one.
Oh yeah,
Luke has his
Luke
shirt
gets
off.
shirtless. Yeah, he's not as impressive as Han though. I mean,
Well,
Han
he's
is
not
just like
posing for the camera.
Han's
the
like an
proverbial
Adonis
camera.
compared to that. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's a pinup right
There's
there.
a lot of shirtless men between these two
Yeah.
issues.
Those are some big old bear cats, too.
Yeah, so
Is that what they call them?
their host on this moon has he keeps the village protected from these weird local creatures like bear cat things, and
It's man bear
everything's
pig. I'm cereal, you guys.
he's like the classic hunter. Like, he has the heads of various animals hanging in his abode there. So there's like a head of a rancor and a head of a few other animals just hanging up. It kind of reminds me of the if you ever played the Force Unleashed video game, you actually go into a house similar to this with various creatures' heads hanging on the walls. But so everything's hand-to-hand combat because he's all about the sport of the hunt. So they're not allowed to use blasters and stuff like that. So,
Are we not going to discuss this dude's wrist blade lightsaber things?
Yeah.
Or as I like to call him, his light Ezio's.
They're like
I see what you did there.
Yeah. It's like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Is that C-3PO that got torn apart again, too?
Yeah, C-3PO gets torn apart. He's only half of a C-3PO now.
I see. And R2's carrying him.
PO.
I love that R2's carrying him on his back.
Yeah, that's pretty
good
funny
stuff.
Yeah, so I'm
like
not
those.
exactly sure where this arc is going. think there's an underlying plot, but I don't think it's been revealed yet.
Yeah, it's shirtlessness.
Shirtlessness. It's all about the spectacle, isn't it? Yeah,
the spectacle of the Peckticles.
Looking at shirtless dudes. Yeah. Well, apparently the main guy who's hosting them, his daughter is descended from a Jedi. So I guess maybe we'll figure out how that works. Her grandma was a Jedi, I should say. So we'll see where that goes. I don't know.
All right.
They're pretty decent. The art I thought was pretty good. It's the same artist that was on the end of the Poe Dameron series.
Okay.
So he captures the faces pretty well.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool colors. Very cool. Yes. Check those out. Hopefully, we'll get past this arc soon because it seems kind of stalled out, but it's still exciting. Lots of shirtless dudes.
Yeah.
So if you're into shirtless dudes,
I don't mind there being these transition issues. So
yeah,
it's all right.
What I kind of miss is them going back to the Yoda Chronicles or Obi-Wan Chronicles, where
I did like those.
Skip
man.
back in time, and you got to see Obi-Wan hanging out with Owen Lars and stuff, solving crimes. Yeah.
Agreed.
We'll see. Yeah. So Dr. Aphra also came out.
Oh, which
boy.
one? Afro what?
27.
Jeez.
27. Wow, that's like that's
Almost
like
a
I don't know.
Serious run.
That's like 127 in dog years, right?
That's 130.
Dude.
That's 127 in Marvel comic issues.
Wow.
Yeah. It should have been rebooted 5 times by now.
Yeah.
But it hasn't. So that tells you something about the Dr. Aphra.
People like the Dr. A.
People like it.
I'm one
I
of
love
them.
it. Yeah. So in this issue, we start up with some characters from the annual. If you remember way back in the last Aphra annual, we had a dude with robot arms on his back who is married to a transition, I guess.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you remember those guys, don't you? Their names are
Frizzle.
Win-Loss and Knock. So they're very popular characters, I guess.
Yep.
They're
Doc Ock and the Lizard. Yep.
Doc Ock and the Lizard. Well, they get hired by Princess Leia, kind of, to go hunt down 000 and Dr. Aphra. That's not really Princess Leia.
I was gonna say it says Princess Leia Organa.
It looks like Princess Leia, and it looks like a rebel trooper, but it's really Dr. Cornelius
Of course it is.
with a face disguise thing.
Good thing it's very droopy.
This isn't revealed right away. So you see the first panel, you see Princess Leia Organa in parentheses, apparently. And you can, just by looking at her, like the way she's sitting in her large, beefy, manly hands, you're like, that's not Princess Leia. You could tell right away. That was pretty cool. Yeah. So
loved beefy, manly hands.
Yeah. So this is Dr. Aphra and 000 trying to get these bombs removed from them so they don't explode. They can't. They have 10 hours and they can't go outside of a certain radius of each other or they explode. So they end up making it to the underground and finding some weird kid down there who has a monster that can take them to the other side of the planet to hopefully find someone who can remove this bomb. And then at the very end, we have another returning character. If you remember Tam Posla, who was married to the decraniated girl from earlier. This all sounds weird if you don't read the comic. I'm just now realizing this.
Thank you. I don't even have to say it now.
Yeah, but he's like a kind of like a paladin sort of character, very honorable. And they thought they've killed him, but there was this weird sentient fungus on a planet colony that they were on in previous issue that had.
Just keeps getting better.
I know, this is great, isn't it? Take it over his body, and not only that. Not only has this sentient force fungus taken over his body and is now controlling his corpse, it also can manipulate machines and takes control of 000.
Wow.
Of course it can.
And in the last panel, we get a big reveal. That BT-1 isn't dead. BT-1's alive and controlled by a force fungus that also controls machines.
As long as I'm calling out weird weapons that I feel like we need to talk about. I feel like we need to discuss the fact that this guy like summons War Machine's like power attack from Marvel versus Capcom 2.
Yeah, dude.
Like it's a straight up direct rip of Marvel versus Capcom 2. I don't remember what War Machine yells when you summon. I think in my head, I'm just hearing unlimited power. But I know that's not it.
Yeah, this comic is off the wall.
Oh my gosh. They've lost their dang minds.
I know it. I love it. It's great because, it's cool to see this kind of stuff in Star Wars. Just like they're taking liberties and they're just
this is the
being
most
as crazy as they want.
Cocaine Star Wars can get and still be canon.
Yeah, I know.
This is nuts.
It is nuts.
Just nuts.
I kind of wonder if they've run out of ideas or something and they're just like throwing anything they can in there just to see what happens.
It's drunken role playing. I'll tell you right now. I know drunken role playing.
Maybe it is. It's a secondary. I mean, well, not secondary, ancillary. I don't know, character. So you can toy around with it. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Be experimental.
Yep.
Get crazy with it.
I like it.
There it is.
Take some shirts off.
Sure.
That's what they need.
Hell yeah.
Get crazy with the cheese whiz.
Only the dudes, though.
No.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine. These are family comics.
No, Dr. A.
You can tell from the mutants funguses taking over killer cyborg men.
Yeah. Yeah. See? You got it.
Yep.
Corey gets it. Yeah.
Yep.
If Corey can get it, anybody can get it.
Would hold my kids' attention better than the latest movies. I'm just saying.
Snap. You know what holds your kids' attention?
I'd love to know what would hold my kids' attention.
Darth Vader.
I thought you were going to say Minecraft, but okay.
Minecraft, Darth Vader.
Got it.
Actually, the Darth Vader comic is kind of like Minecraft in the recent issues because he's building a tower, which you can also do in Minecraft.
You can toast in Minecraft.
See, there's lava. There's lava like in Minecraft.
Oh.
Huh? You like that? There's mobs of bad guys that try to attack you and blow up your town.
Oh, stupid creepers.
Yeah. Yep, creepers. Yeah. So Darth Vader 24 came out, and this issue was insane. This is like a Vader Unleashed issue where we get to see like kind of like the full range of force powers that Darth Vader can wield. So he basically is attacked by some of the local, natives on Mustafar, and he fights alongside his stormtroopers to kind of bring them down and destroy them and get rid of them. And he just goes nuts. He is throwing lava plumes at him. He actually falls into lava and uses the Force to protect himself from said lava, and then jump out like a fish from the lava, and then land on the side of the shore, like in episode 3. So, cool stuff, guys. Lava? You guys like lava?
He did the superhero landing.
Lava. I know, he did. Wait for it. Like bad on the knees.
I have always hated the superhero landing, and I appreciate it when Deadpool called it out. I've always hated it. I blame the Matrix for westernizing an otherwise anime exclusive thing, and now everything does it.
Yeah, because it's awesome.
Yeah, the artwork in this, it's like, you're right, Vader Unleashed, which one of the things I appreciated about the first level in the Force Unleashed was that it didn't have Vader doing a bunch of theatrical flipping and dramatic stuff. You just trudged with purpose, This comic abandons any sense that anyone in the boardroom or in the design room had that day. And says, all right, let's make Vader a flying ballerina of rage.
Yeah, that's a good... Oh, yeah, he is a flying ballerina of rage.
Yeah.
That's Vader right there.
I like it on one hand. I kind of don't on the other hand, but I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, so at the end of the comic, this Lord Momin, a Sith spirit that's inhabited a helmet, has, in the previous issue, called back his own body from the past and is now possessing his own body. And he does battle with Vader, and Vader just like crushes him. But not before Momin cuts off one of Vader's arms. But they're mechanical. They grow back.
Inconsequential. It's like
I don't need that.
No,
it happens all the time. Yeah. So at the very end of this comic, so the whole point of building this tower was to rip a hole in the fabric of time and space and the Force or whatever. And Vader ends up doing that. Whoa. And that's where it leaves off. So he's about to step into the nexus of space-time or something. I don't know. We'll find out in the last issue on 25.
Vader and Ep9 confirmed.
Yep. Yep. As soon as it pop out, it's me. I walk through the thing. You read the comic? You read the comic. You'll understand.
It was in the comic.
There's too much exposition in episode 9 already.
Yeah, JJ ain't going to give you no exposition.
I don't like it.
Oh, heck no.
Heck no. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I like the Vader comic. It's going to be sad to see it come to an end, but, all good things, right?
I always like dark Sithiness that doesn't come bundled with a bunch of really emo, gothy bullcrap. And so I appreciate that about this comic and this masked dude character. He seems like a legit, like, Sithy, ghosty kind of dude.
Yeah,
like
he's
that stuff.
It gives a different twist on the Sith because like said, oh, I'm angry and mad all the time, and that's where I get my power. This guy's like somewhat of an artist, but he's like very twisted in his art because he uses death and destruction as part of his art style, and it's just like, oh, okay, that's a different take, and yeah, good stuff.
Sith and their iconic masks. What are you gonna do? These guys.
They're pretty. These guys. So. We had one shot for Age of the Republic, which is a new ongoing series. So they're going to do a one shot for different characters throughout the
many
Star Wars
thousands
timeline.
of years. The end, right?
Yep.
It's the Age of the Republic.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So the first one that came out was Qui-Gon Jinn, fan favorite, Qui-Gon Jinn, and one of my favorites. And I will say, if you do like Qui-Gon Jinn in the movies and maybe some of the limited amount of expanded universe we get from him, you will probably love this comic because it does explore, I guess, Qui-Gon's more gray view of the Force and how he didn't necessarily see eye to eye with the Jedi Council on how they should be waging war as Jedi. And so I really love seeing that come into like our new canon because I don't know if that's been explicitly stated or shown in the new canon. In the old, it kind of was, but now it's actually officially back. Like he is a gray Jedi. He did not see eye to eye with the Council, and it was really cool to see him explore that with Yoda. And Yoda's kind of saying, yeah, well, maybe you got a point, but well, this is what we're doing. So. Yeah, it's good stuff. I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, definitely check it out, especially if you like Qui-Gon. And I wish
a lot of thirsty Qui-Gon fans out there.
Yeah, I wish this would have been an ongoing series. Fortunately, it's just a one shot, but maybe if it gets popular enough, Marvel will make it an ongoing series.
Possibly.
But, yeah, it's cool. Really, really explored the philosophy of the Force and the Jedi at the time of the Republic. So thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I like anything that gets Qui-Gon a little more exposure is a good thing.
Absolutely. And then the second one was Darth Maul, which was basically almost a compendium to the Darth Maul Limited series that came out a while ago, the 5-issue series. Actually mentioned a lot of stuff from that series, and yeah, it was okay. Not as good as the Qui-Gon in my opinion, but I mean, if you like Darth Maul, you will probably like Age of the Republic Darth Maul. A lot of cool stuff. They go back to
Darth Maul. The problem is Darth Maul is one of those characters that got a lot of background stuff done late in the game before the Disney acquisition.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like I have trouble dissecting what's canon.
Yeah,
and what's not.
It's hard to really explore, especially in early Maul, really explore his like character because he is one of those typical Sith, like, oh, I'm mad all the time. And my main motivation is to kill the Jedi.
My teeth are dirty.
Yeah, but I mean, we kind of get a little bit of insight. The Emperor takes him to Malachor, and he gets kind of a vision of what would happen if he hadn't been a Sith, if he had gone the Jedi path instead. And he kind of has to fight his way out of being good in order to prove himself to the Emperor. So this is all
Kylo-esque.
Yeah, very Kylo-esque. So he ends up fighting his way out from the light side to prove to his master that he really is true to the Sith path. So, yeah, that was kind of cool. Yeah. So check those out. Next one will be, I think we get an Obi-Wan, and we get a Jango, and we get a maybe just, I don't know what else. Something else.
It'll be nice to know jack crap about Jango Fett.
I know, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it, though?
Maybe he has the history that we wish Boba Fett had.
Maybe.
I went there.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got for all those comics.
Jeez, that's all you got for all them comics?
That's all? Many. So many. Wow. Yeah, comics. I just wanted to get. We also had the Star Wars Galaxy of Adventures come out that we mentioned last episode. Mm-hmm. So these are basically just 1 minute shorts, taking lines directly from the movies,
like the
and doing
audio.
a different, audio,
straight audio lift from the original movie.
Yeah, straight audio. And they did an animation style that some would describe as anime, but in my opinion, it's kind of closer to like a Genndy Tartakovsky type style, like an anime-esque but with Western styling.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
there's more than 3 frames per second. So
personally, I really liked them, and they actually brought in a narrator, Dante Brasco, who played Prince Zuko in Avatar.
Yeah,
he's also Rufio in Hook, which
Donnie
Mike hasn't seen.
Also FBI agent that went undercover to capture.
Or Dante. Oh, sorry, did I say Donnie?
No,
Dante.
but I did.
Okay. Which was weird because he was only in a few episodes and he only had like 2 or 3 lines, maybe in total, which was weird that they brought him in.
I was going to say, he's not in any of the bits that I've seen. So. No,
he's not in all of them. So I really liked a few of these, especially the Emperor one. Because specifically, it's the one from Return of the Jedi where the Emperor's telling Luke that, your faith in your friends is you're failing, and strike me down, I'm unarmed. And you kind of flashes back through the history of episode 1, 2, and 3 of the Emperor's machinations and how he became Emperor. And it was really cool and stylized how they did it, and it really kind of tied all the movies together. And then of course the trench run on the Death Star, they did one on that, and I thought that was really cool how they kind of visualized Luke inside the Force. Like, it's kind of that typical everything slows down and everything turns a different shade of color. I thought that was really cool how they did that. But I love these personally. I really wish they were longer though.
But that's part of the problem.
I don't understand. Yeah, the point is kind of lost on me because I know it's to get kids into the universe. But
is it? I don't know that I buy that.
Because it's not really representative of what you get from a Star Wars movie.
There's not enough here to capture kids' imagination unless they're literally just trying to get kids to trip over them on YouTube. Then I'm like, okay. But, I mean, to me, all these are like, what if, like, when Luke was escaping from the Wampa, he was like super powerful and did a lot of flips. And I'm just like, yawn. I am so unimpressed by that. I mean, the animation is quality. It's the point that's lost on me. I don't get it. I try to appreciate them, but I'm just like, I'm good with the way it was. I don't need it to be exaggerated to enjoy it. So when we exaggerate it, I'm like, I don't, it's not helping. It's not making me more excited. I like this stuff already, you know?
Yeah,
and it is a very exaggerated action. Everything action.
Yeah, that was the best part.
Super exaggerated.
That was the best part. They even did the Rogue One hallway scene with Vader, kind of. So that was pretty cool.
Like literally, when escaping the Wampa, Luke slices an ice stalactite with his lightsaber, causing the cave to collapse. And the rush of air from the cave collapsing causes him to flip in the air and land on his back in the snow. And I'm like, okay. Pretty awesome, right? Yeah, I mean, it's an artistic take on the what. There are people who love this
happened.
stuff, and they're going to love it because it's done well.
I love it.
I don't love this stuff, so I don't.
That's because you're a loser. You're not a cool kid like me.
Could be.
Cool.
You're not wearing an itchy wreath on your head and trying to randomly stack things on top of it that keep falling off and making noise. So check and mate friend.
So check those out. Got to go to YouTube Kids. It'll take you about 12 minutes to watch all of them. So not too much time out of your day. Let us know what you think on Discord or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
On that Discord channel that you can go to the Twitter and at FlyCash1138 find the link to.
Yeah, that's
You're
the
welcome.
one.
Or Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of wasting time,
Oh, yeah, that's what we've been doing.
time for the Porkins by the week.
Again?
What you got, Mike?
I'm trying, baby.
Come on, Mike.
I don't know if y'all know this, but Boba Fett's considered to be pretty bad dude in history.
Yeah, he is. The baddest.
But Jeremy Bullock, the dude that was in the suit, would tell you that as cool as that Mandalorian armor looked, it might have been a little less than efficient.
What?
Dude couldn't see a dang thing. Said it was like having sunglasses over your entire face. Dude was so blind up in there, he had to memorize the steps so he wouldn't run into the back of Darth Vader.
Vader would have been pissed.
That'd have been a funny scene, though. Oh, excuse me. Like he just accidentally sketches Vader.
There goes your head.
Yep. Yep. At one point, I believe they fell down. Vader and Boba Fett fell down clutching each other.
Aw.
And he said, well, we
Did
have
they kiss?
two villains
They
falling
take
down.
off each other's shirts?
If they were in that comic, they would have.
Yeah, they would have.
Speaking of taking off shirts,
I
Yeah.
bet Fett is stacked.
gets warm in the Glee Club practice room. Did you know that?
No.
Did you know about this, Mike?
In
Did you hear
fact,
this?
it's mandatory shirtlessness.
Mandaloratory.
You know, I
Taking my
stay
shirt
away-
off right
I
now.
stay away from the locker room. I've been warned.
That's your mistake then, because you are missing out on a feast for the eyes.
Speaking
Right.
of stacked,
what?
Stacked.
Yeah,
those guys.
the Glee
Yeah.
Club.
Yeah.
They're sporting massive one packs.
No, they're called kegs.
Oh, kegs.
Kegerator.
Yeah. They're kegged up pretty good. But yes, we have another and the final for 2018 Fly Casual Glee Club
Already?
installment.
Wow.
I know. It's funny. It's like the Glee Club just showed up in the last few weeks
I know.
for the year.
And then goes away.
Yeah.
I know.
Happy New Year.
They hit and fade. Always leave you wanting a little less. That's their motto. But the Glee Club has returned. You know, it's funny. They submitted a request. They said that they wanted to do sort of a retrospective on The Last Jedi. And I said, well, you know, you're already putting together the Cantonica song, which is darn near perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, there are other things that have happened. Solo came out this year, and they say, yeah, but we haven't had a year. It's only a year since The Last Jedi came out, and there's so much to be said about it. So in true fashion, you know, they picked a holiday number, and I won't go into any more detail. I'll just present it to you for your listening pleasure. Fly Casual Glee Club and Walking on the Sunny, Salty Sand.
Well, everybody, it's Christmas time, and, well, to me, Christmas time always meant sitting around the fire with the family and singing about the Battle of Crate from The Last Jedi.
That's true.
So if you know the words, I hope you'll join in.
Oh, join us, everyone.
Alarm bells ring, aren't you wincing? The last 2 hours not convincing. The first order is here to knock us all on our rears. Walking on that sunny, salty sand. Gone astray, the Jedi Master. Pretty cray, a totes disaster. He pops a stale of milk cap and pulls it straight from the tap. He's not walking on that sunny, salty sand. Now in the middle we can have a showdown.
Oh, yeah.
And pretend that Luke is really here. He'll dick with Kylo till he has a breakdown.
He did.
And probably just wink and disappear. Hey, later on, he'll retire And by retire, I mean expire. He said goodbye to his twin. Now he's a fart in the wind. Never walked upon that sunny, salty sand. Then the baddies will pull out their big old cannon. You know, the one that they were saving just for last. Yeah, we'll nearly take it out, but then no, man. Now Rose will doom us all and then talk out of her ass. The part with the dice. Hey, ain't it bitter? Quick plot device. Those crystal critters. Hey, Resident Mary Sue, bring on the timely rescue.
No way.
Just get us off this sunny, salty sand. This story hasn't moved since it began. A cruiser now runs on gas just like a sedan. Please roll the credits. I've had all I can stand. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas!
Mike, did you write the lyrics to that song?
It definitely wasn't my Ike.
Mike!
It was not my Ike.
That really sounded like you might have written the lyrics.
I might have had a hand in that. I might have.
My gosh.
Yeah, hate us.
My gosh.
Hey, what?
The country music folks are real salty on The Last Jedi. Wow.
It's everywhere.
Just wow. That's all I have to say about that.
Wow.
Good stuff.
But thank you for
a couple of nice additions from the
Club.
Glee Club this year.
Yep, the Christmas satire repertoire just grows and grows.
It does.
Not unlike a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
Is it
But like a tumor.
It's probably not benign either, is it?
It's like a tumor. Well, you know, I don't want to call it non-malignant. We'll put it that way.
That's true.
So there's that. Hey, guys, we got a lot to talk about. It's time for some rumors.
Which rumors? There's rumors.
Rumors
upon rumors within rumors.
Oh, yeah. Love me some rumors.
Boys.
I would masticate to some rumors right now.
There has been more
Masticate my
rumors.
scalp right now. It would be nice. Thank
There's
you.
been more rumors coming out the last couple weeks, and we've seen since probably 2014.
My gosh.
That is like 4 years, dude.
There,
Four.
For Rizzle.
it
Maybe
was
almost
all,
5. Maybe
It was
almost
all
5.
like there were I think a lot fewer intentional leaks. Like intentional rumors, because there was a whole lot of what the hell are we doing going on the inside.
I mean, leading up to The Force Awakens, there was nothing before it, right? So that's it. That was our only focal point.
Yeah.
For a
There
little,
was
for a couple of
drones
years there,
everywhere.
we had Rogue One, and we had some things in there that kind of, diverted our attention. But we are in a period right now where Ep9 doesn't come out for a whole year.
Holy cow.
So everybody is pretty much focused on 9. And
There's no distractions, not really, other than
none.
a little Mandalorian
None.
here, a little this, that, over there.
Yeah, there's some good stuff coming, but for the most part, though, these big movies,
Star Wars
draw
Galaxy
all
of
the
Adventures.
attention.
You forgot about that. That's
That's right. That's where the attention is. You're right.
Yep, those fan films. Yep.
that 12 minutes, man.
So what is going on in the rumorific world of rumors?
So, Mark Hamill this week, he's...
I know him.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I follow him on Twitter.
Well, you might have thought that he had died in The Last Jedi.
What?
But just because you die in Star Wars does not mean that it's the end of the road.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Han's
or in
coming
most
back.
major pop culture properties.
True that.
Yeah.
So, Hamill this week talking about the secrecy surrounding Ep9, which is funny because it seemed like, remember when JJ was in charge of The Force Awakens, right? There was a lot of secrecy going on there.
Everything was locked down, and there was, they take our cell phones every morning on set.
Big time. But according to Luke, I'm not Lucas, Luke.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Give me some
You need
slack
more Red
here,
Bull,
man.
less
I know,
Jägermeister.
right? I know. That's what I'm saying.
Here, I got some grape flavored energy drink.
That's
It's
all right.
delicious.
So the Mark Hamill, though, talking about being on the set of Ep9, a little more secrecy involved. with the Ep9, just like The Force Awakens.
Yeah, I was going to say, he didn't have to deal with the script secrecy of The Force Awakens because he didn't have no lines.
He did not. But he said JJ's back in charge, and it's kind of back to that, I don't know, that Fort Knox lockdown.
And the red paper scripts.
And the red paper scripts.
He got the red paper scripts.
He
Forgot about those.
hates red paper scripts. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can't. They're red because they don't photocopy.
Yes, right.
And no one is allowed to have. It's not like you're like, oh, you're in the movie. Here's your script.
Right.
They don't get those.
Yeah, actually, he was talking specifically in this article on Slashfilm about this, so that actually on well, like you said, on Force Awakens, he didn't really have any lines, so the script read, that was it for Ep 8. He said that he actually got to keep a script, which was nice for him. But back to fast forward to Ep 9, that. Apparently, they flew someone out to his home so that he could read the script, and then immediately took it back and flew back to Lucasfilm.
Even on set, when people need to review a script on set, there's a script person, which that may be kind of normal, but this script person just like unlocks the briefcase. I imagine there's two of them with separate keys. They both have to turn at the same time. And then they walk the script over to you, let you look at it briefly, and then walk it back. You are not allowed to have it.
So we're back to the JJ.
I'm not joking, except for the two keys.
I know you are absolutely not joking.
This is not a joke.
But so we're back to that JJ style secrecy on set, which is funny because there were, according to Hamill, there was less secrecy with Rian Johnson, but less leaks, fewer leaks. Yep. Right.
Well, hey, the tighter your grip becomes, the more star systems.
Oh, there you go. You got it
through your fingers.
That's
there,
right.
buddy.
That's right. That's right. So
paraphrasing.
Actually, the funny thing is Hamill. You can tell he's just. This is not his forte.
No, at this point, he's just like these kids. I don't even know. He's like, I don't care. This is not my speed.
The discussion, actually, he had an anecdote about, when A New Hope came out, when it was known as Star Wars back in the day, he got a copy of the script and they're like, oh no, you can't share this with anybody. But he took it home and he read it and he's like, this is crazy. And then he called over some friends and they had a barbecue and he was passing the script around. They're having a few beers. Get some opinions, and that those days long gone.
Right.
So, yeah. Of course, back in the 70s when nobody knew what Star Wars was, nobody gave a damn. So.
And there was no internet to propagate things.
Exactly.
Instantly.
So, but I don't know. The thing I take away from this article is just, I don't know, Hamill's annoyance, maybe.
He does. I don't want to say he's a gruff old man because I don't think of him that way. I just think he just has no time to suffer fools in terms of this type of like overhypeness. I don't think he likes overhyping anything.
He doesn't. That's for sure. But I don't know. I think he honestly, I mean, if we want to look at this honestly, I think he's a little soured by this whole experience. I think
so too.
The
I
article,
think his wife is not sitting there behind him, like trying to stifle it. I told you so.
Well,
I told you so.
Famously, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, I read an article with him in it, and I actually kind of felt bad for him because he alluded to the fact that when he signed on for these films, that he was really excited because Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher had signed on as well. And in his mind, he felt like he was going to get that moment. And even if it was just a moment where all 3 of them would be on screen again, he would get to act with his friends, and that did not materialize, man. And
squandered.
Whether you like these new sequel trilogies or not, or whatever your opinion is, it doesn't matter.
There is a little bit of a tragedy.
Yeah, there is. I feel bad. I feel bad for him because that's I would have felt the same way. I got this opportunity to, act with these people that I have, very strong feelings for, and it just didn't materialize for him. So I feel bad for him on some level. So yeah. So anyway, Hamill goes on to discuss the fact that despite rumors that he had already done his bits as they would say for Ep9.
They do.
That,
That's how they call them. They say bits.
The
Come in
bits
do
and
your
pieces,
bits.
yeah.
Bits.
Well, I mean, everybody's assuming, of course, that his role in this is going to be Force Ghost Luke.
Yes.
Yeah, it
And
has to be.
that his screen time is going to be somewhat limited, which I would still venture to guess it's going to be pretty limited. He does go on to say that, in fact, that he has filmed very little of his parts and that his filming is yet to come.
Well, that just means that one of two things. Yes, he's a Force Ghost, and they're all just going to be shooting somewhere else and then superimposing him. Or B, when Nebula gets the gauntlet and snaps her fingers, he rematerializes.
Oh, I like this
That
crossover.
That could be.
Crossover.
Luke was actually
Also,
in
spoilers.
that galaxy. It wasn't a 50%. It was just one.
I think
One dude.
I think maybe some folks.
It was 50% of the Jedi.
Yeah, there you go.
I think some folks are taking those comments to maybe crossing their fingers and hoping that he's got more of a significant role in 9 than.
I don't know. Again, it's Ep9, and I don't know how to feel about anything.
I don't either.
Because I just don't have
know.
any idea. I'm going to be completely surprised with how they try to make all this rematerialize.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, 8 left me with like
We know.
I
We
no
know.
idea.
No.
No idea what 9 is going to bring.
I've known
so.
people who I know people who really liked 8. People who really disagree with where I fall on it. Who still, when they go, but I have no idea where they're going.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Not
you're absolutely
enough.
right.
Not, and they don't say, but I have no idea where they're going. They don't say it like that. Like it's exciting. It's kind of like, I'm like everybody that I've talked face to face with comes down on that.
Yeah.
Like, I have no.
Yeah, feel
idea.
what you want, but I mean, I think everybody's got to admit that. I mean, 8 almost felt like a standalone film that, like, it almost kind of felt like a wrap in and of itself. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know. Some people are excited about that fact that they have no idea what 9 is going to bring. Other people may be frustrated with that fact, but anyway, so Hamill. Like I said, still has his parts yet to film. So, anyway,
Force Luke.
Force
Ghost
Luke. Force Ghost
confirmed.
Luke.
Force Ghost Luke.
Well, I don't know if confirmed. But well, let me ask you guys this: any chance at all in hell that Luke isn't dead? Because
I
there's
don't
a lot
wanna
of
say there's no
there is a
chance.
lot of people out there positing that he's not dead.
I'm not gonna say there's no chance, but boy, would it be hard to navigate that without being so lame.
Right.
Yeah.
As much as I don't want him to be dead, he did.
Right. Exactly.
And did he die in a dumb way? Yeah.
Right.
Was it even clear that he was dying? No, it wasn't. But at the same time, I had to eat that nasty cold porridge. So don't make me barf it back up.
Right. Yeah. I feel like it's like, okay, you've made a decision. You've moved forward with it. That's one of those things I don't think you can turn back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how you, if he does, I don't know how you make it plausible and make it work
Right on.
within the structure. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
But,
What's new in Game of Vaders?
Game of Vaders?
Game of Vaders.
Dun 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 dun.
I'm not sure where we're going with that. But,
Next on the rumor schedule, guess what? We got a new cameo announced in episode 9.
What? Is it me?
That's
It's
right.
me.
Oh, I see where you're
Not
going
enough
now.
people were pissed off about Ed Sheeran showing up in Game of
Well,
Thrones.
what I was
didn't
going to
care
say
about
is that we
I
had
didn't
a
think it was
whole
bad.
we had a whole song last episode about the cameos in Star Wars, but yeah, yet another has been added to the list.
What?
Yes, Ed Sheeran.
I still don't understand what pissed people off so bad about him showing up in Game of Thrones. I
I don't either.
I was like, that dude looked familiar. Oh well.
Yeah. I guess you have to be, in order to be pissed off, you have to know who he is. That's
That
simple.
was probably been helpful. I just
I
thought
had no
he looked
idea.
familiar.
Oh, weird
then I
red-haired
saw
guy.
the-
Okay, what
and
else?
then, and then I saw as Ed Sheeran was on Game of Thrones. People were upset. I'm like, that
Which one
name
was
sounds
he?
familiar.
Which one
Actually,
was
his,
he?
Yeah.
his scene in he was. If you don't know, for real, Garrick, or are you just messing?
Well, I didn't know at the time. I had to look it up because I didn't.
I had to. Yeah, I also had to confirm.
I mean, his scene in Game of
it
Thrones,
was
I thought
totally
was.
fine.
Yeah, I liked it. It was a campfire thing and
Yeah.
guy just singing and yeah, it
made
was cool.
sense.
It totally.
Why not Ed Sheeran?
Yeah, why
it's
not?
not like he turned to the camera and just lingered staring into
Hi.
it like George
Hello,
Lucas's
Game
daughter.
of Thrones fans. I'm Ed
Yes.
Sheeran.
And now
going to sing a
on
song.
with the scene.
So we
If you've had me, I'd like to sing a song for you.
yes.
Like to hear you go.
Yeah, yet another person that's added to the cameo list for Star Wars.
Yeah, whatever. Simon Pegg
I
is in
kind
there.
of, I kind of feel some people are pissed off about this stuff.
I'm hoping that Unkar pled him up. They have him in a complete alien outfit where he's unrecognizable, and he still sings.
I thought he was. I thought he was a stormtrooper. like Daniel
I'm
Craig.
fine. I hope the stormtrooper
Oh, yeah.
sings.
Daniel Craig was.
He's gonna be.
Daniel
he's
Craig
gonna be a
was
short.
great.
He's gonna be a short stormtrooper.
He's a short trooper.
Very, very short.
Well, the singing corps, they're not as strict
Yeah,
about the height
that's true.
regulations. You know,
As long as
you
you
can be flat-footed and still be in the singing.
As long as you
Yes.
got those pipes.
Yep.
Word.
Those golden
Okay, so
pipes.
also in Ep 9 rumor news,
What?
this one's okay. So I'm gonna give some preface here before I give this piece
Oh, boy.
because
Uh-oh.
there's a lot of people. We all know how divisive The Last Jedi was, right?
Yep.
And there are a lot of people on the pro side of The Last Jedi that are concerned about JJ coming in
And undoing.
and subverting, of all things.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? It's like, well, wait a minute. What's good for the goose, guys? Because that movie subverted all the stuff from the first one.
Everything.
And we're the first ones to say you
It
can't just
subverted
keep going
itself.
back and forth. We say that, you know. We're saying, like, you can't just make Luke alive. Like,
Right.
But,
right. Yes, right.
but
So,
some things are probably forgivable.
I'm not gonna, we've already given our opinions on Last Jedi, but I'm just, like I said, I'm going to lay some preface here. So, a lot of people, the people that like The Last Jedi like the subversive. That's like one of the main things that they liked about it is that it did not, go down the predictable route and that it took left turns when everybody thought it was going to go right and all that good stuff.
You could put in a completely different movie.
Right.
You could put in the Goonies and say that was really subversive for a Star Wars film. I'm like, you're right. Except I like the Goonies.
So I mean, there are certain things about this movie that about Last Jedi that people were like, oh wow, and a couple of those were like number one, like the fact that Kylo Ren smashed his mask, right,
Smashed it into pieces.
And you know what?
What?
I had no problem with that at all.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Whatever.
Seemed like a
That's
character
one of those
development.
smart things.
I
I
like
don't know
character
how
development.
But
That was a pitiful helmet if you just smash it like that, though.
Dude, he was so force
What
strong.
was it actually protecting? Like,
His pride.
if he fell off a bike, it would break and hurt him worse.
apparently,
kinda detrimental.
All I could do was just drop it on
Sticks
the
his
floor.
lightsaber on the
and it broke.
spokes and flips over.
Ah,
Stupid helmet.
stupid Ryan Johnson.
So, but one of the big ones. Anyway, again, more preface here. There's a lot of these Last Jedi people saying, "Boy, I hope JJ doesn't come in and just
Is that what they sound like, Mike?
undo all the greatness that RJ injected into Star Wars." Okay, so that said, the rumor this week is that Rey is actually going to repair the Anakin Skywalker lightsaber that was destroyed in the battle between Rey and Kylo at the end of the movie. Famously, the lightsaber itself from the beginning. You remember, you guys, when we had rumors about the lightsaber floating in space, and being picked up, and so so JJ obviously, at least in my opinion, intended for this lightsaber to be
A meaningful thing.
throughout this.
I mean, she
And
picked it up and it like spoke to her through the force.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
and then
called out to her.
of course, RJ gets the film and was like, you know what, fuck the lightsaber.
That's a metal piece of poop. Somebody
He's-
pooped metal.
He's the one where in literally the first scene of that movie, Luke takes the lightsaber and says, "Yeah, what's this shit?" and throws it over the cliff. And
Classic.
Honestly, the more apart I get from the movie, the more I feel like Ryan Johnson and J.J. Abrams must have already hated each other.
it feels kind of feels that way. I don't know.
I don't necessarily believe it, but man, it feels like it sometimes.
So let me ask you guys this. I mean, how do you guys feel about this? That, I mean, if RJ specifically took the time to say this lightsaber doesn't matter to the point that he broke it in
Well,
The
you
Last
know what? The
Jedi.
character-
And now JJ's coming back and saying, no, we're going to fix it, and she's going to use it.
The character that pretended that lightsaber didn't matter had to come around and fix his wrongs even in the end. So if I'm supposed to continue to believe that lightsaber doesn't matter, it's based on the belief of a character who is deeply flawed and had to make up for it by getting involved. But Luke, basically. Luke's like, oh, this doesn't matter. But Luke is an angry, bitter old butthead. And then in the end has to go, all right, I do need to step in and do something. So there's no reason to believe that the lightsaber is useless or worthless because it was just the belief of a bitter old hermit. Right?
Obviously,
I mean,
well,
this is me taking The Last Jedi absolutely as it is.
Right.
I'm not being divisive and saying, well, Luke sucks, so who cares? I'm saying Luke was a bitter old guy who was wrong, but by admission of his own change of attitude, right?
right.
So all bets are off.
Oh, symbolism.
Lightsaber's the
man.
most important thing in the galaxy.
It's all about symbolism, bro.
Just yes.
Because it's
I think his lightsaber is going to be imbued with Luke himself, his essence.
Yeah.
And every time he talks, the kyber crystal is going to like glow. And pulse.
Lightsaber's destroyed. Mark Hamill's scenes, or he has to come in and hold very still because they're going to superimpose him in her hands, and he's just going to have a laser come out of his head. He's going to be like a force lightsaber.
Nah, he's gonna help her fix it. She's be like, "Here, hold this piece here. Okay, screw this in. Okay, let go."
Let's see.
Click.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you guys feel about this, though? Do you feel like this, and I hate to
could
put it this
care
way,
less.
I mean, does this, okay, well, we know where you stand on this.
That's it. I'm just like, there's nothing positive or negative about any of it to me.
Right.
It's just like, okay, do it well.
All right.
Let me enjoy
So let's talk to Garrick and how you have a little bit
Garrick and
more
Hadley.
of a positive view of The Last Jedi. I mean, do you guys feel like this, if Rey does repair this lightsaber and use it, that in some way subverts or undoes what RJ did? Is this a slight to RJ?
To me, it would make sense
Yeah.
that she would at least try.
She's not, it's not like she's hung around with a lightsaber long enough.
Yeah, it's not like
it was
kyber
hard to believe
crystals
that
just
Luke
grow in the
even-
ground. Oh wait, no, they do. Damn it.
It's hard to believe that like Luke, it was that Luke was able to build his own lightsaber before. It's like, how did he know? He had to figure it out. He had to find out, right? Well, she's had even less time to mull things over, so it makes sense that she'd try to fix the broken one.
Right?
Well, the lightsaber, I mean, in that movie, I assume, was supposed to represent like the Force, right? Like she tries to hand it to Luke, and of course he's cut himself off from the Force, so he just throws it away. And then when Kylo and Rey are fighting over it, it's kind of like the two sides of the Force pulling at each other until it broke. So I think her repairing it, I'm guessing the symbolism there is like she's trying to repair the Force that was broken apart when maybe she was going to turn with Kylo to turn to the dark side or the middle side or whatever. So I don't know.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning into this week's Dialogue Club featuring Garrick Dean Hardy.
I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure that's what Ryan Johnson was attempting to do with the lightsaber.
That is so obvious to me now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. What Garrick said is what he did. Yep.
Yeah. See, that movie's awesome now, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's top of my list now.
So, okay, well, but I mean, so you're cool with JJ coming back and repairing it and bringing it back into
Yeah.
the fold?
I kind of wish she would construct her own so it could be green because I like green lightsabers better. But that's just me. That's my personal
Maybe she has to
or
find
purple. Ooh, it's
Kyber
purple.
crystal.
Yellow. Orange.
Ooh, yellow.
Yellow, orange lightsaber.
I want orange.
Silver.
They look
Honestly, I'm
delicious.
kind of with you, Corey. I don't even
Rainbow.
I don't even know what to think about it. I mean, it's just
I want to. I still care.
I don't know.
I care about all this a lot, but I feel so lost
Look,
that I'm like,
I
it
want
could be good, it could be bad. I don't know.
I mean, I want to care about it, but I feel like, I mean, I'm soured unless JJ can bring me back full circle.
That's the thing. I'm like, hey,
I'm
balls in
hoping
his court.
maybe.
I'm honestly having a hard time getting where you guys are coming from because I look at this like, okay, it makes sense. I don't feel.
Yeah.
It's not something like, oh, it was really cool, or that's divisive, or I just like
see
that's
the
a thing.
you just see the utility of it. Like, yeah, she has this lightsaber.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why wouldn't she try to repair it?
Because if I had a broken lightsaber in real life, I would try to fix it.
I would try to repair that thing.
I'd be afraid I'd shoot or cut my
that
eye
thing
off.
cuts things up.
That'd be worth it.
Slice your bread and
Look,
make toast.
I get where you guys are coming from, but I'm trying to look at this at more of a symbolic overall picture type of thing. And I feel like JJ, set up a very specific thing, or at least he had something in mind in The Force Awakens with that lightsaber. And then
If you're asking whether having her reconstruct the lightsaber is thumbing the nose at The Last Jedi,
well, yeah, that's kind of the overall question.
I don't think so
I
at all.
don't. To me, it's too.
Whether he is or isn't.
The word could be potentially, but it's such a small gesture given the function of it that I don't. Anybody who gets upset about that needs to take their meds. And,
honestly, if we weren't talking about it and we happened to see it in the movie, I wouldn't have thought twice. Yeah, it would never occur to me.
Maybe afterwards when we're chewing on it, but not while I'm watching.
Okay, let me put it this way. You're right. I mean, the lightsaber seems like a small thing, so whether he means it as a slight or not, I mean, it's such a small thing, doesn't really matter. I think the bigger thing is if JJ brings back Luke and Luke's alive.
Oh yeah, that's
in 9.
That'd
That's
be
pretty much
crazy.
saying JJ, fuck you.
Yeah. If you want to rip
Ryan,
apart
yeah, right.
fandom even more, bring it
But
back.
to be honest, that would be one thing I'd be okay with.
What?
Yeah.
What, bringing back Luke?
I would.
Honestly,
I am so weirded out.
and this may be divisive. This may be divisive, but I'm
not magically bringing.
I'm
back
of the
Luke.
mindset that whatever JJ
clone.
does is I don't look at him as being like a middle finger to Ryan Johnson. I look at it as this going, I'm going to try to put these pieces together.
I
in a way
honestly,
that makes
I'm
sense.
there.
I don't know JJ well enough at all,
Right.
but I just have this feeling that JJ's a little bit above that.
I think so.
To
I
be
think
like,
you're right.
I'm going to play your dirty game.
Right.
I think he's
I don't
more
even think
professional.
Ryan Johnson knew he was playing that game. I don't think Ryan Johnson had the self-awareness
Well, I think
to
you're right.
realize what he was doing.
I think you're right.
But I look at JJ as going, well,
Let's try to put it back to
Well,
better.
you
put it back
gotta-
together what we think would be the best place to leave off.
Yeah.
No,
Regardless of the journey.
I absolutely agree with that. And you got to remember that, JJ wasn't scheduled to do 9, right? It was
Right.
Trevorrow. So,
Yeah.
and I've said this from the beginning, that, or at least after Last Jedi came out, that RJ made the movie he was conscripted to make. So he was given certain latitudes and he took advantage of all those things.
He did
made
what
the
he wanted to
movie.
do.
He made the movie he was told he could make. So I don't, I don't really place a lot of blame on him.
No.
So, but
I'll put his feet to the fire over his social media. but
right.
but the movie is what it is.
I really want, though, the lightsaber to turn into a Bob-like character. Bob the Skull.
Luke talks through lightsaber flickering.
Yes. That's really what I want.
Oh, I like every time he talks, the lightsaber starts to come out. But like when he's mad or being passive aggressive, it only comes out like a little bit.
And it changes colors, too.
Like he's like,
based
I'm
on
going to
his
my room.
emotions.
I'll be back for dinner.
Nice.
That's what I
Well, it'll
wanna
be
see.
interesting, I guess, to see how all of that transpires. Kevin Smith in the news this week. Have you guys?
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith is still relevant.
I guess.
Have you,
You know what?
seen his recent movies?
Look, Kevin. Here's my take on Kevin.
Have you
Smith.
watched Tusk yet?
No. Dude, the last thing I
treat for you, my friend.
the last thing I saw from him was Red State, and
Oh no.
yeah.
Oh
right.
no, my friend, you have a ways to travel.
I don't even care about his movies anymore. He's just one of those guys now. Actually, I'm intrigued by him. I saw his his interview. He was on Joe Rogan
Yeah.
several months ago.
Oh, talking about his heart attack and all that stuff. Yeah, it's like
I'm
near
like,
death stuff.
I am more interested in him as a person now.
I am
than
too. I'm actually-
anything that he puts out.
That's probably always been true ever since he did like that college tour
yeah.
stuff back
right.
in the
Yeah,
day.
where you just feel questions.
Where it's
and,
like,
yeah.
all right, yeah, you're a personality.
Right.
And,
So
at least you didn't screw Ray J on camera to get famous. So
he has morphed into a someone that he's got some notoriety and he's in the nerd culture and people
and
listen to him.
every time he goes to a movie set, he cries.
Yes. He's cried twice in the last week. Just saying.
The dude goes to movie sets and then comes back and they're like, "How was it on the movie set, man? It was so. I mean, they've got it so down. I cried. Like, look at me. I'm a guy. I cried. I was so moved. I was like transformed. I was in a different place." That's every single interview with Kevin Smith.
I know.
About
And
how was it on that movie set?
And that's the criticism of him as of late. But I don't know. I have a hard time being. Look,
I don't dislike Kevin Smith. I
don't
don't
either.
understand why everybody's like, "What did Kevin Smith think? What did Kevin Smith think?" I'm like, "Well, Kevin Smith's fine, but
here's the thing about Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith is now a cheerleader, right?
he is."
And people invite him onto their set because they know that he will do exactly what he does. That he's going to take to Twitter and he's going to
that's
give
why
interviews.
I don't like it. It's marketing. And it feels disingenuous.
It's all marketing.
If it was packaged like marketing, I'd be like, "Yep, it's marketing." But they package it like it's some like, "Oh man, Kevin Smith, he's, look, he knows, he's a nerd. He knows you guys. He's like you guys and he likes it." I'm like, BS, dude cries
Look,
at the
before we
drop
get
of a sock.
too deep into this, let me give you the two scenarios that happened this past week. First, he was invited by JJ to come to the set of Ep9, and basically he said that he witnessed a classic character. Most people assume that it's Billy D as Lando, that gave the performance of his career and that he cried on set.
The hyperbole makes me cringe so hard.
I know.
If it's true, awesome. I don't believe that it is.
I know. I want to believe that
I want to believe, but I
But
don't.
he says that about everything.
Exactly. Everything he says is that way. He's even made fun of himself for it. Like when they were trying to
I
cast
know.
Daredevil and he pitched Ben Affleck. He's like, "Man, I'll tell everybody Ben Affleck's my answer for everything." Like he makes fun of himself. He's self-aware about it, but yet he keeps doing it.
Well, the funny thing is that, I mean, literally like a day later, there's a report. I don't know if you guys saw this, but that he was also, that he was exposed to the Avengers Endgame trailer.
Yep.
And he cried at the Endgame trailer.
Yeah, that was sad though.
Okay,
But
I was
buddy.
almost moved to tears because I don't know if you realize this. In that Avengers Endgame trailer, Robert Downey Jr. gave the performance of his career. I'm just saying.
He probably did.
It looks kind of like it.
It made me cry.
I
Way
feel
better than the
you,
one he got the Oscar for, right?
but I wish we could have had at least a couple weeks between
know.
him crying at
give
Star
him time.
Wars. And
Give him time for his cheeks to dry between crying.
Doesn't
Again,
the homecoming
I wonder what
trailer
Again,
come out
I
soon?
really like Kevin Smith. I just
Yeah, right.
don't. These reactions always feel strange to me.
He would
Yes.
probably cry on the set of Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Dude, that was
probably
sad.
would.
I went to
He
this
lost his
dude's
bike.
basement and watched these dudes record a Star Wars podcast, and I cried because the odor was so strong.
It's like someone was cutting onions.
It smelled like Star Trek role playing. I don't know.
Oh, gross.
Kevin Smith is what they call a hype man. I mean,
is.
that's why people invite him on their sets now, and because they know he's going to go and he's going to be all emotional.
He's gonna love everything he sees.
Yes.
And that's great.
Yeah.
Positivity.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we need more of that in this world, so I'm all about it.
Yeah, Mike.
Whatever.
Because here's the thing. Kevin Smith doesn't hate on people who are critical about things. That's the difference. You want to be positive about something, you need to be positive about people too. And I'm going to give that man credit
No,
for that.
I don't want to.
I gotta give that man credit for that because he is positive about everything to the point where I'm just like, all right, you're giving me the diabetes over here. but he doesn't turn around and bag on people who don't disagree with him. And that, for some reason, nowadays is something that deserves respect because it's rare.
No, and I agree. I mean, we need more positivity. There's been a lot of negativity over the last year. So if there's someone out there and they're giving good vibes, man, I'm all about it. Why not?
Why not?
So
Also, now I can't wait to see Billy D top the Colt 45 commercial. Finally, after all these years.
About
all right,
time.
guys, I have one last thing here. Do you guys want to talk about this? I've got a plot theory
Oh no.
that has been posited. Do you guys want to discuss that, or do you guys want to?
Well, I've been wearing my thinking cap for like 2 hours, so it's about time because it's itchy.
Okay. So you guys want to dive into this, or you want to save it for another cast?
No, hit me.
All right, baby.
Hit me. We're taking out. We're going to pile drive 2018 to the max.
Hit me with your best shot.
All right.
Fire
so
away.
Benatar. Pat my Benatar.
I have been exposed to a plot theory for Ep9.
Uh-oh.
That
All right, now we're getting crazy rumory, so the super sensitive types need to tune out.
It exposed
Yeah.
itself to you.
let's just put it this way: if there's any truth to this, this could be pretty.
Took its shirt
spoilery.
off.
So if you are overly sensitive to these things,
I am.
you may want to tune out now.
I'm overly sensitive.
This seems very
My
plausible to
scalp
me.
is very sensitive.
It actually seems so plausible that I don't believe it's actually going to happen.
It sounds too right to be true.
True. Yes.
Well,
yes.
Star Wars has hurt us enough. We know that right is not true.
So, from my understanding, this originated in the the dredges of the Reddit.
Hey, Reddit does not have dredges; it has sewers.
It's the sewers of Reddit.
Sewers.
Yes.
But it was because I want to give credit where credit's due. This was crystallized to the best of I've been able to trace it to a guy named on YouTube named Thor Skywalker. So he posited this theory. I want to give him
Both
credit
universes.
because this is. At least as far back as I can trace it, this is where it originated. So anyway, so this theory basically posits that, a lot of people have been talking the last two movies about Rey and her origins and why the hell is she so good with the Force and why can she fly the Falcon right away? It's the whole Mary Sue thing, right?
Yeah, we're trying to justify it because we don't want to believe that it's just poor writing.
And that's what I've said this whole time is like, okay, I'm withholding my judgment until I see 9 because they have to explain this, right?
And JJ, this is one of the things I feel like Force Awakens did very well. JJ, there was a breadcrumb trail in the Force Awakens that there was something more going on with Rey.
Yes.
Than just she picked up a lightsaber and she's good at stuff. Like the whole scene where she's with Finn down underneath and the Rathars are rolling around tremorsing everybody. And she's like, oh, yeah, if we do this, we do that. Blah, blah, blah. And she figures it all out right there in her head. And even she's surprised.
Yes. That thing that you just said is exactly right. In The Force Awakens, I was struck by the fact that she seemed surprised by the abilities.
Every time she came to these abilities and solutions, she was surprised by them.
Right. This is something that was new to her. It's not that she's always...
And it wasn't just the Force.
Right.
It was everything. It wasn't just like Force fighting with lightsaber fighting and stuff. It was everything she did in that movie was almost a surprise to her.
Right. Yes. I agreed 100%. So
I don't know where that was in The Last Jedi.
Anyway, I like this theory that I'm about to posit because it really, as much as I was a critic of The Last Jedi, I really feel like if this is true, this really could sew up things between The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this theory basically says that Kylo Ren, when he, was going after the dark side, where Snoke was, wooing him over to that side, essentially decided that he needed to expel all of the light side from him in its entirety. And
which for a second, this is a slight departure from a lot of what we've seen from Dark Jedi and Sith before, where what they crave is power,
right?
Not purity. We don't see as much focus on purity. We see it's power, and that lust for power is what? corrupting.
Right.
Whereas Kylo seems to be bent on purity, on almost like purifying himself from light, like expelling all light from himself.
And going to The Force Awakens, where you have the scene where he's talking to the helmet, where he's almost praying to his grandfather, help me get rid of this out of me. He's struggling with the light. That was one of the things that we loved about The Force Awakens, is that we've got a bad guy that is struggling with the light side of the Force. That was so foreign and new.
Yeah.
And it was, it's a crazy departure from what we know, of, old legends and the old canon and all that good stuff.
It was always struggling with the dark or committed to the dark.
So, yes. So, it's interesting that you put it that way because, so he comes to this realization. Actually, he looks, this theory anyway, posits that he looks at Vader and what was Vader's failing? Well, Vader's failing was that he still had the light in him. And that, and at the end of the day, he, came full circle and, killed Palpatine and, was redeemed by Luke. And, now that Kylo is a disciple of Vader, he's looking for a way, how do I do this time without being tempted by the light and all that good stuff. So this theory posits that that Kylo went through some sort of ritual, dark side ritual, Sith ritual of some sort, where he basically splits himself in two, where the all that remains of him is the dark side, where he has split off the light side of him entirely. And now through this process or whatever, it's basic. Well, let me just say it. Essentially, Rey is the manifestation of Kylo Ren, the light side of Kylo Ren. Okay, so he has expelled this. The light side of Kylo Ren goes off somewhere and plants itself in this little girl, Rey. And now, Rey's origin is she? Is she a complete manifestation of the Force, or was she an existing, child? And the
I
light
still
side.
want to believe that this ritual or whatever, if it was a thing that he had her, and he did it, and he cast it into her because it had to go somewhere,
right?
Because I still want it justified. Because if this goes unjustified, Star Wars has failed, in my opinion.
Right.
Well, it could be like Preacher.
Preacher failed. Because season 2 happened. When in The Force Awakens, when they say, "Oh yeah, there was a girl," when the stormtroopers reporting to him, he's like, "A girl?
Yeah, what girl?
What girl?"
Right.
And then turns around and beats the crap out of a console.
Well, and
that must be justified, or everyone attached to this franchise has failed.
Well,
because otherwise it's just a stupid loose
And
end.
it's not only that, but as he says that line as they are orbiting Jakku.
Yep.
So he knows they're in close proximity to
what he
had done.
Plus, I still felt like the arm that was holding her arm, or the hand that was holding her arm, looked like it could have been Kylo.
The arm is Unkar Plutt.
Oh, was it Unkar Plutt's arm?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Clearly.
Okay.
Clearly.
Okay. Either way, he also knows about who her parents are, so they sold her to him for booze money.
Yeah, see, and this is where this all starts to tie up, right? Because of course he would lie to her, in The Last Jedi, telling her, "Oh yeah, you're nobody," blah blah blah, because he doesn't want her to. Well, and it explains his obsession with her as well, right? Because when he finds out that oh my gosh, this girl, suddenly has got all these abilities and she's bested me in combat twice, that type of thing.
Now he's got a scholarly fascination with how is this happening?
Right. It's starting to make more sense.
Right.
And, if you look at Rey as being a once being part of Kylo Ren, right? So it starts to make sense. So actually,
and it makes start to wonder if, like, as he trains and becomes more powerful, even though his light side is separated from him, it's also becoming more powerful and more in connection with the Force,
Right.
even though it's not in him, it's in someone
Well,
else.
there's
you
gotta be
notice.
balance.
You also notice that she doesn't start getting her powers until he's in close proximity to her.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe his proximity to her is the Force Awakens. It's the Force Awakening in her, right?
Mm-hmm.
So his proximity to her is awakening these abilities. And actually, a lot of people don't understand this or know this, and I just found this out myself. But the novelization of the Force Awakens, the scene where he has captured her and he's questioning her on the ship.
Yeah.
In the novelization, you can't really tell this from the movie, but in the novelization, they basically make it sound like that when she connects to him, remember, he's trying to probe her brain, but she pushes back.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're afraid that you won't be able to live up to Vader's she's like suddenly calling him out.
Yeah.
Well, during that scene, essentially, she downloads everything from him into her.
Oh,
so
really?
that's the explanation of why she has suddenly all these Force abilities.
Okay.
Is that it's basically rushed all back into her.
Okay.
And it's essentially the two halves of Kylo trying to reunite.
Mm-hmm.
So that felt very interesting to me, that, there's this, and then, fast forward to Last Jedi, suddenly they've got this connection. And I know that Snoke claims that he was the catalyst for the two, to be able to contact each other. But
Right.
I mean, if you look beyond that, I mean, just their connection and being able to talk to each other through the Force and all that stuff. I mean, it all starts to make, for me, it starts to all kind of fall into place that, again, it's the two halves. And at the end of Last Jedi, when they have the, scene in the throne room, and he's they're both begging each other. No, come with me. No, come with me. I mean, again, it's the two halves of Kylo Ren trying to reunite. And I don't know, very interesting.
So in episode 9, one of them's going to eat the other. Is that how it's going to work?
Yeah, I don't
There can be only one.
know. Yeah, I mean, but that's where the interesting part comes in, because I don't know how you resolve that,
One of them has to die.
They do it.
Yeah, no, yeah, obviously one of them has to die, but
No, they just do it.
They do it.
They just
I like
do it,
Corey's ending better.
Yeah. They bump uglies. They have sexual suicide,
And then they create
baby.
a Mara Jade.
Yeah,
Whoa, this got really good.
yeah. That's how the babby's formed.
So I don't know. What do you guys think about this? I mean, it's interesting.
I agree with you. It makes too much sense to be what's actually going to happen.
I know. I hate to think that, but I know.
It fits too perfectly. Even JJ, who pretty much made episode 4.1 with The Force Awakens, still completely took left turns where we thought it made perfect sense to go
I
right
know.
in our predictions,
I know.
which was fine. We were all thrilled.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't believe for a second that he's going to do anything that would actually sit that rest. That
Just
well.
to kind of even cement this a little bit more, this kind of explains how, like, when she meets Han Solo, she and Han have this kind of connection, but he doesn't recognize her.
Yep.
There's a connection there because, like, oh, that's,
And he immediately is like, hey, she's going to take over for me and all that stuff. And you're like, whoa, you met this trash bag
Right.
girl.
But there's a connection there that he doesn't quite understand. And it's
Yep.
because essentially that's his sibling or his son, son, daughter, offspring in
Yeah.
a sense,
Yeah.
that he doesn't recognize.
Yep. Too good.
Yeah.
That's the new
That
fanboy
sounds
wet
cool.
dream.
I mean, that sounds really cool to me.
Yeah.
And
You hear that, guys? Mike just says Ep9 sounds really cool to
I'll
him.
tell you what, if that ends up being Ep9, then I'm all in on, well, I'm not all in on the
Okay,
Last
that's
Jedi.
Ep9. That's
Well,
Ep9,
you know what?
but the entire final battle is Luke's Force Ghost.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this way.
Since it has to bring the light and the dark together, he's battling on a different plane, a different level. So it has to be Luke.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Everybody
Luke
is
is
Luke.
fighting. Yeah, everybody's Luke.
Yeah.
It's like the end of Three Amigos.
I feel like if this is the case, then the Last Jedi is a lot more palatable to me. Not completely, because I still feel like the worst part of the Last Jedi is the comedy. That stuff just that's like Jar Jar level crap. to me.
I'm still amazed that someone managed to do comedy worse than The Force Awakens did.
I know, it's funny.
Because The Force Awakens, that's the weakest part.
It was kind of
Even though it's
kinda
fine,
hokey.
it's fine.
It was okay.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
Right.
It was by far the weakest part.
right.
And then Ryan Johnson said, hold my latte.
Then he went, crack?
Yep, crack them knuckles and made it kind of a drag. Huh? 3PO.
I get it.
What a drag, bro. Hey, guys.
What?
Speaking of drags, it's been an hour and a half since this thing kicked off, so we're going to wrap it up, all right?
Oh, let's do it.
All right? It's time to go to sleep.
Amen, brother.
Hey, guys.
I like sleeping.
Hey, it's not always 2:05 in the morning when we're together, and
It's early.
sometimes we're a little more alert and less drunk than Mike was at the start of this episode. So, if you want proof, you can join us on Discord. If you want to get on our Discord, and if you don't know what Discord is, it's a chat client. There's voice chat, text chat, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We're still working
Post
out
the
the kinks.
memes.
Post some of those memes that the kids are talking about. Get on there, get on our Discord, go to Twitter and Facebook at Fly Casual 1138 on Twitter, Facebook, or Fly Casual Podcast on the Facebook, and get the link and join us on Discord because we're chatting all day long, more or less, and we've got other listeners and we've got other people who've been on the podcast. We're all in there and we want you to join us too because we really like hearing from you guys and we like making each other laugh, cracking jokes, have a few beers. Yeah, I went.
Smoke up,
I
Johnny.
jumped into a different franchise there for a second. But yeah, anyway, we would love to have you there on Discord with us. And of course, follow us on Twitter at FlyCasual1138 and like us and follow us and share us on the Facebook to help reach more listeners just like you. When you're listening to the podcast, you can go to the website, betterkind.com, click on the show that you are listening to, and you can see the links and things that go to talk more about the discussion topics that we touch on as well. And if you want to know where all that comes from, you can check it out in the Discord because we're pulling a lot of that from our news droids that are populating our Discord with a lot of the news items as they're rolling in, and we're talking about them as they're hot off the press. So all that, and you want to run out to iTunes, Stitcher, give us a nice little review. We would really appreciate it because we want to reach more listeners just like you, and then we can take over the world.
He's mine.
That's the end goal.
Yep. Squad goals.
So, but short term, my goal is to get this wreath the crap off my head because I'm gonna die.
I super glued it to your head, though.
No, I'll kill you. I'll kill you dead. I'll kill you straight dead. I'm Corey. Over there's Mike.
YouTube, subscribe, ring the bell for updates.
That's right. Go to the YouTube. Check out the bits and pieces and the whole 9 yards. Over there's Howie.
I rang the bell.
He did. That's true. And Garrick.
I don't have a shirt on.
Oh,
yeah.
You are comic, is what you are. We are jelly. Look at this hair.
Dear Lord.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh. Anybody have a petroleum jelly?